Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Welcome to Sarah Banta Health Talks. I'm your host, Sarah Banta. I'm a health coach, natural supplement expert, and a busy mom of three. Make sure you hit the subscribe button below so you're notified every week with my new podcasts on Mondays and Tuesdays. And if you haven't already, join my free group coaching on Telegram with the link below. There's no downside. I teach you on a daily basis with tips and tools to enhance your health, and you will be a part of a like-minded group to support you on your journey in addition to truly taking control of your health. The protocols and supplements I discuss are all found at sarahbantahealth.com. Today we're talking about avoiding hair loss from weight loss. This is a topic that is huge right now. I feel like women and men left and right are losing hair. Now, COVID is part of that because there is something that's going on with the COVID problem with losing hair, people just losing hair in general. And then you've got this unexplained weight gain. So we're trying to lose weight and now we're becoming bald. It's a big problem. So as a side effect of significant weight loss, some men and women will experience this hair loss. And this is known as Telogen effluvium. That is a mouthful. It's a temporary condition. It's not permanent hair loss. And what happens is the hair follicles enter a resting phase prematurely and shed more hair than normal. And then it's typically triggered by a significant physiological stressor, such as rapid weight loss, nutritional deficiencies, or hormonal changes. So when I'm saying hormonal changes or nutritional deficiencies or a stressor, there could be a lot of other things causing the hair loss as well. So why does this happen? When the body experiences a sudden or substantial caloric deficit, especially if you're crash dieting, it's going to prioritize the essential bodily functions over hair growth. It cares about your liver and your kidneys. It doesn't really care about the way you look or your nails. You might find that your hair's thinning, but your nails are thinning as well, and your skin's all croupy and dry. Your body doesn't care about this stuff. It just wants to survive. So hair loss occurs as a result of more hairs entering the resting phase, leading to increased shedding and noticeable hair loss, including a receding hairline, thinning hair, and even balding spots. And this shedding usually occurs a few months after the weight loss occurs. Also, this brings up, how many of you have been pregnant, had great thick hair during that pregnancy? Of 4 months after you have the baby, you lose hair. In some way, the same thing's going on here. So the weight loss is going to cause this shedding, and then you're going to get the normal hair growth will resume eventually. It's important to note that not everyone who undergoes the weight loss will experience the hair loss, and the severity and duration can also vary. Also depends on your hormones. It depends on your other stress factors that might be going on in your life at the same time. So is weight loss considered a stressor? Well, most people, when they diet, not only do they lower their caloric intake, but they also increase their cardio exercise, double up their workouts, lower their nutritional intake. They're not necessarily being super careful about making sure they're taking in nutrient-dense food for the little calories they're taking in. And all of these factors increase that stress and the stress hormones in the body. And then when the body senses these stressors, it may perceive it as a form of stress or famine in response and respond by releasing these stress hormones such as cortisol. So number one, you've got this caloric restriction. When you reduce your caloric intake for weight loss, your body may interpret it as this period of limited food availability and going, okay, what are we going to do? We're going to be hibernating. What are we going to do? And how are we going to maintain our lives as we're not going to get in the calories that we used to get in? So in response, it activates this physiological mechanism to conserve energy and maintain the essential bodily functions. This can trigger an increase in stress hormones such as cortisol or epinephrine. The body sacrifices the body parts that aren't needed, like hair, in order to preserve the body parts that are needed, like the essential organs. Then what happens? The thyroid hormones change. So when the body perceives stress, you have that survival shift that we've talked about with Dr. Rick Johnson. And this will cause the inactive hormone T4, which stands for tyrosine and 4 molecules of iodine, to convert into the stressed hormone, reverse T3, instead of the active energy-inducing T3. So reverse T3 tells the body it's in survival mode. We've got to slow down the metabolism, store the belly fat to protect the organs, and sacrifice the non-essential things like the hair. And then you add in the psychological stress. So you tell me, when you go into a phase of dieting, you psychologically are having to work on, I can't eat that over there. Stay away from the brownies. Clean out the pantry. We can't go out to dinner. I'm going to be tempted by the wine and the bread basket. There's this psychological stress that goes on as well. And when that happens, you're focused on the different food choices and your weight loss goals. And that psychological stress can contribute to the release of the stress hormones as well. So another thought, you then might start seeing, oh my God, my hair's thinning. Then you start staring in the mirror, my hair's thinning. I can't believe I've got this bald spot. Well, as you're focused on the bald spot, guess what's happening with the psychological and the physical and the emotional warping thoughts that are going into this vicious cycle of, I'm losing hair. I'm now thinking about losing hair. It increases the stress. The focus is on my scalp. It's going to cause more hair loss. So there's something to be said about focusing on the positive and envisioning this wonderful, luscious hair growing in as you are losing the body fat, maintaining the healthy muscle mass, and not being in a stress state. You've got to incorporate the healthy thoughts around this situation as well. The cortisol and the metabolism. So cortisol plays a role in regulating metabolism, including the breakdown of stored glycogen or glucose to provide energy. So in the context of dieting, increased cortisol levels can help mobilize stored energy sources to compensate for the caloric deficit. But all of this is inflammatory. So then what happens? When your hair follicles are inflamed, do you think they're going to grow healthily? No, it's just like any other part of your body when there's inflammation. Inflammation creates disease. Any area of inflammation, there's going to be disease, and it's going to go against your health goals. So when we want to look at hair loss during dieting, we also need to look at insulin resistance. Most people are needing to lose weight because they have insulin resistance. So while losing weight puts additional stress on the body, the other considerations needing to take into account are the fact that insulin resistance is one of the main causes of hair loss. The other is toxicity. So if you're dieting incorrectly or you're not eating healthily, not only will you lose hair from the stress it puts on the body, but you won't be addressing the insulin resistance, which is what leads to the hair loss and fat accumulation in the first place. Insulin resistance increases the levels of the androgens in the body, and those androgens convert into DHT. DHT is known to clog the hair follicle, hindering its ability to absorb the needed proteins and minerals for healthy hair growth. So if you have these high levels of DHT, but you think, oh, I'm taking in the right amount of protein and the right minerals for the healthy hair growth, well, the DHT is clogging the hair follicle so that the needed protein and minerals can't even get to where it needs to go to the healthy hair follicle. So then if you don't mitigate the toxic exposure of heavy metals, radiation, xenoestrogens that come through diet, the environment, the technology, our smartphones, hair loss will be even worse during a dieting period. I have to just mention that today I had someone knocking at my door from my water company, not my electricity company, wanting to put another smart meter on my house for water. And I said, no, thank you. I opt out. Why? Because that smart meter is only going to raise the radiation and the EMFs in my house, causing things like hair loss. And no, thank you. They can come and get my measurement of my water the old-fashioned way, and we will be just fine. Same with the smart meter for energy on my house. I have opted out and I have the old analog. That is something that you can do, and it should not be a problem. But that radiation, the heavy metals, the lead, the mercury, the halogens, the fluoride, bromide, the chlorine in our water, in our diet, the GMOs, the all of these things that are in the processed foods, anything that's non-organic, the things we're putting on our skin, the cleaning supplies, all of that stuff and those toxins could be leading to hair loss. And they also lead to insulin resistance, even without eating a morsel of sugar, believe it or not. So all of those toxic exposures are causing hair loss to be worsened. So what do we do about it? This is where we get into the fun stuff, right? So ways to avoid hair loss from the weight loss. There are definitely ways to do this, and the goal is to lose the fat weight while minimizing the stress in the body, giving the body the nutrients it needs to balance the hormones and maintain healthy hair. You can look at the top 3 supplements to help avoid hair loss, and the number 1 is accelerated keto. And why? Number 1, it is lowering the blood sugar and reversing insulin resistance. So we are reversing the number 1 cause of hair loss. You're addressing that main cause. And as you enter in that state of ketosis, burning your own body fat for energy, you're easily intermittent fasting without stressing the body. The accelerated keto helps maintain the muscle mass while losing fat weight, detoxing the liver of the toxins and the liver fat that contributes to weight or hair loss, and then reducing inflammation that contributes to the hair loss as well. So the L-threonine in the accelerated keto is an amino acid that most people are familiar with, and it's known as the ultimate anti-aging supplement because it defats the liver. That's why I love it, because we need to be loving our liver through this whole crazy time where we are being bombarded by so many toxins, the radiation, heavy metals, and in our diets. And it is lipotropic, meaning it breaks down the saturated fats into unsaturated fats. So on a daily basis, you're cleansing your liver. Now, of course, we need to be doing the liver flush a couple times a year as well, but on a daily basis, it is working on your liver. And these unsaturated fats are easier for the body to utilize, as L-threonine converts that solid stored fat in the body into liquid unsaturated fat, which is then easier for the body to burn. So you can imagine a wax candle that's solid, and when we light the candle, the solid wax or the fat turns into a liquid, which then is taken up by the wick to burn easily. And because of this property, it's able to defat the liver. So the other thing is when the liver has to convert stored fat into energy or ketones, it produces the ketones from fats. So this is where it's almost like a second source of ketones away from just the keto, the BHB in the accelerated keto. It's helping defat and declog your liver, and the liver is able to function in all areas, including helping with the thyroid hormones convert from T4 to T3, not reverse T3. And as the liver function becomes better, the thyroid works better. It's also taking your stress out of the equation. So when you're dieting and you're using the accelerated keto, you're tapping into your fat stores. The body says, oh, I've got thousands of calories on my body to burn. I don't need to stress out. I'm not in a caloric deficit. I've got so much energy to burn. Let's just relax. And we're going to actually heal the gut, where the GABA, the dopamine, the serotonin, the happy hormones, the de-stressing hormones are going to be produced. The brain calms down. The GABA makes us really happy and calm, takes away the cortisol and the epinephrine, and we're not in a stress state. So now we're able to diet, not be in a stress state. We are promoting healthy thyroid function with the T4 converting to T3, not converting to reverse T3, not being in that survival stressed mode. And at the same time, we're intermittent fasting. So what happens then? We have autophagy and cleaning up of the diseased and damaged cells, reducing inflammation in the gut, in the hair follicles, everywhere. And in the gut, now our gut is healing that leaky gut, so that when we do eat, we're able to absorb the nutrients really, really well. And it's going to send those nutrients, the vitamins, the collagen, the protein to our hair. Next, you've got the Acceleradine iodine. Iodine helps regulate estrogen, detox the toxins and radiation that speed up hair loss, and can help support optimal thyroid function, which of course is essential for healthy hair. Now, away from weight loss, away from dieting, if you have hypothyroidism or suboptimal thyroid, one of the top symptoms is hair loss. So we are supporting our hair by supporting optimal thyroid function with the Acceleradine iodine. And it also helps detox the hair follicle from fluoride, from the heavy metals, from the radiation. And it can get to the brain, it can get to the head. So the thyroid is the bridge between the brain and the body. And Acceleradine is also known as the number one spiritual element. It is able to cross that blood-brain barrier because the Acceleradine is the only 100% bioavailable iodine that's monoatomic, and unlike any other iodine supplement. Most iodine supplements cannot do that. It also increases ATP in the cells by 18 times, which is your mitochondria's health. It is your energy. It is your cellular energy. When you have more energy during these periods of dieting while giving your cells the energy to optimize weight loss, detoxification, you're also giving it the energy to do its work on your scalp. Then you add in the accelerated thyroid. So the dieting, as I mentioned, can lead to a slower metabolism in thyroid, on top of the fact that 90% chance you also have hypothyroidism, and that's why you're wanting to lose weight. And 9 out of 10 people are suffering from hypothyroidism. The accelerated thyroid helps reverse the hypothyroidism, support proper thyroid detoxification and function, and keep that metabolism and the hair growth optimized. So on top of those top 3 supplements, the other ones that you can add in are the liquid BioCell collagen. So collagen is essential for hair health. On average, the body loses collagen starting at the age of 30, and without proper collagen in the diet, hair loss will be accelerated. And that's why it's really important for protein intake as well, because you can get your collagen in your protein. Add in the stress from the dieting and a lower protein intake that most people do when they're on a diet, collagen supplied to the hair will be even less. The liquid BioCell collagen proved a naturally occurring matrix of hydrolyzed collagen, hyaluronic acid, and chondroitin sulfate. This matrix has been proven to hit the hair follicles and provide a really substantial nutrient-dense matrix that will help with hair growth. And this promotes the healthier, thicker hair growth, healthier joints, and younger looking skin. Of course, who doesn't want to look good as well on their face and their skin? But this formula is also anti-inflammatory and reduces oxidative stress, two factors that also worsen the hair loss. Accelerated ancient salt. So trace minerals are usually low in someone dieting for weight loss. Most people have very little energy when they're dieting, right? And most of our energy actually comes from minerals and electrolytes, not from food. The accelerated ancient salt has over 62 minerals, in addition to the scalar frequencies to support detoxification from radiation and other toxins that could be contributing to hair loss. I know Celtic salt is really trending right now as people are adding it to their waters for energy. That's where the accelerated ancient salt comes in, but it is so much better than the Celtic salt because it has so many more minerals and the scalar enhancement frequencies that are supporting that detoxification. It's helping plump up the cells as the Acceleradine is detoxing the cells to then plump out or pump out the toxins that are causing things like hair loss and other issues with toxicity. The X49 patch. I love this patch. It not only helps with hair loss, which I'm going to get into in a minute, but it helps with weight loss and fat loss while maintaining muscle mass. And that is super important to focus on as we're getting older into our 40s, 50s, and 60s. So this boosts the production of the AHK copper peptide, a copper peptide that enhances hair density by promoting hair growth while also promoting or preventing hair loss. And the promotion of the new blood vessels is induced by this AHK copper peptide through the release of the VEGF mechanism. So when dieting and with age, blood supply to the scalp lessens, leading to the hair loss. And the blood flow is not just delivered to existing hair follicles, but it's also stimulating the growth of new hair follicles and improving the size of the hair follicles. So you actually might see new hair growth. I have seen this happen, and I have a lot of clients that have as well. Accelerated copper. So you just heard me talk about the copper peptide. Well, you need copper to support any copper peptides. And the copper is now being recognized as a key part in successful weight loss as well. So away from just the hair, the accelerated copper is helping with your weight loss through multiple factors. It helps with lowering uric acid, lowering insulin resistance, and lowering obesity. Obesity is a downstream effect of the high consumption of fructose in the standard American diet and processed foods. And the fructose causes an accelerated chelation rate of copper through the body. And this is connected to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease and insulin resistance. So you can see how this is a vicious cycle, right? It's like this domino effect. And also to add in, the last 3 years, the spike protein has caused not just hair loss, but it's also caused an increase in insulin resistance and fatty liver disease and unexplained weight gain and an increase in copper depletion. All of these things are related, guys. So we got to clue into how to reverse this cycle. Copper is huge, and that's where accelerated copper comes in. MyVitalC, this is a carbon 60. I started taking this supplement, and within just a couple weeks, I noticed it on its own helped with my hair growth. I saw a huge difference. I use the hair supplements that you can use topically as well, but just the oral supplement, MyVitalC, really helps with hair growth, thicker, faster growth, and it's a powerful antioxidant. It also helps with combating oxidative stress that leads to the hair loss. So it has multiple mechanisms that it's working on. Additionally, it helps extend lifespan, improve sleep, which of course helps with hair growth and stress. It diminishes wrinkles, strengthens your bones, improves your performance, and so much more. Next is the magnesium. Hair follicles respond to DHT. That can be lessened by magnesium, which is the unwanted effect of the calcium on the hair can be neutralized by the magnesium, and the magnesium can provide the hair with the necessary nutrients to promote the ideal growth. The hair follicle can be promoted from the negative, or be protected from the negative effects of DHT by the presence of magnesium, which also counteracts the harmful effect of the calcium on the hair growth. So calcium gets clogging the hair follicles. Calcium, you think it's a good nutrient, right? We hear about we need to be supplementing with calcium, drinking calcium from our milk. That's a whole nother story, which, believe me, do not be drinking milk for your calcium. It doesn't work that way. But calcium gets deposited in all the wrong areas of our body. It's causing our arthritis in our bones, and it's causing a detriment to our hair follicles and hair growth. And so we need the magnesium to counteract that. The magnesium also is essential for optimal hair growth and provides the necessary nutrients for it to be maintained. And the naturally occurring matrix of the hydrolyzed forms in the collagen with the magnesium is a combination that really supports that health growth. And the magnesium breakthrough is the one I really like. It has all 7 types of magnesium in it. Nucnomore. So I talked about radiation from our cell phones, from our smart meters, from our Zooms. All of this radiation that we can't see is not just causing weight gain. It's causing insulin resistance. It's causing calcium to get deposited in the wrong parts of our body, and it's causing hair loss, and we know it. It also causes cancer. It's causing an accelerated rate of all of the diseases that we have, right? So the Nucnomore is the only supplement that helps eliminate all non-ionizing and ionizing radiation in the body, and it can take it down to 0. It works in conjunction with the Acceleradine iodine. Accelerated silver. Why is this important? When the immune system suffers, the body perceives this as a stressor and will cause weight loss plateaus and hair loss, among other symptoms. The accelerated silver helps strengthen the immune system's ability to devitalize those foreign pathogens, including the viruses, bacteria, fungus, parasites. All those things could be causing hair loss. You could be having a fungus in your scalp. You could be having candida or a bacteria that could be causing the hair loss. I actually spray copper and silver in my scalp sometimes just to help with the integrity of my scalp and my skin to encourage good hair growth. So aside from the supplements, the healthy eating habits to avoid hair loss from weight loss, what do we need to be eating to support not just our fat loss and our metabolisms, but our hair? Intermittent fasting. So while you're in ketosis with the accelerated keto, the intermittent fasting becomes extremely effective without stressing the hair follicles. It reverses the insulin resistance, reduces oxidative stress and inflammation, heals the gut for better nutrition, absorption needed for that hair growth. So you're getting the gut healed, you're getting everything reduced, all the inflammation reduced, the cells are spreading apart, they're being able to absorb all the nutrients you are taking in when you do eat, and the body is stressed, is lowering its stress. The brain is relaxed. We can go hours without eating and we're feeling great. Then when we do eat, when we break our fasting window, we break it with wild animal protein. Why? Because not only is that going to get a bump in your fat burning with that glucagon to insulin ratio going higher, meaning that your body's glucagon increases higher than your insulin, so your fat burning actually increases more than what it was when you're intermittent fasting. So that's great news. But then that protein is being sucked up by your gut and absorbed because we're no longer having leaky gut, and that protein's going to support our muscle mass and our health hair growth. And it's not only needed for the building blocks of the muscles and the tissues, but for the hair. Most people dieting are not consuming enough protein, and this is the major cause of hair loss, especially women. I go out to dinner or lunch with women all the time, and they have these measly little salads with a maybe a little bit of chicken on top, which is not the kind of protein you want. That chicken and any other poultry have amyloid proteins, which actually can disrupt your gut, actually cause more weight loss, can actually increase the spike protein in your body. And we'll go into that in a minute. We want to focus on the wild animal proteins, but most women are scared of eating protein in the first place. So the proteins like bison, lamb, elk, deer, wild fish, they provide more nutrient-dense protein than any other source of food, more than the vegetables. In addition to being essential for weight loss, the protein also helps with suppressing the appetite, maintaining the muscle mass as the body loses fat. So you can actually lean bulk, as we call it. So you can actually increase your muscle mass while you're losing fat. Most diets, especially if you are on one of these diabetic drugs like Ozempic or Wegovy, they have you lose fat and muscle at the same time. The goal is to maintain your muscle mass. When the body registers its intake of amino acids from protein, it no longer stresses that it's in a starvation state that causes the hair loss. Then prioritizing protein is key to the weight loss without the hair loss. So you gotta focus on your protein. Focus on getting in at least 1 gram of protein for the ideal lean body mass that you are shooting for. So say you are 200 pounds, but your ideal body mass is 150. You want to shoot for 150 grams of protein. You are not going to gain weight from protein. We actually need more protein as we get older to support our bodies and our tissues. We have a harder time digesting and metabolizing protein. So really important to be eating that protein. You can use supplements called like berberine HCl or Capex to help with the digestion and the metabolism of the protein if you think that you are having a hard time breaking that down. Now, where does that protein breakdown happen, and where does the fat breakdown happen? In the liver. So if your liver's not working, then you're going to have a difficult time. That's why we need to do the liver flushes to increase the protein and fat metabolism. You also want to eliminate certain vegetables. Most people are consuming more vegetables and less protein while they're dieting for weight loss. Some of those vegetables could be clogging the detoxification in the body, causing nutrient malabsorption, and actually leading to hair loss and bloat. So here you are losing your hair and you're not getting the nutrients, you're slowing down your metabolism, and you're bloated because you're eating the wrong vegetables. So you might want to start with eliminating vegetables that contain the sulfur, like the broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Swiss chard, kale, or oxalates like the almonds and the kale and the spinach, or moldy vegetables, mushrooms, grapes, peas, pea proteins. Lectins are in the grains and the beans. We want to get rid of those to help with heal the gut, get rid of the bloat, because who wants to be bloated if you're trying to lose weight? And those things are also contributing to leaky gut, which is causing malabsorption, which is causing you to not even absorb the nutrients from the wild animal protein or the vegetables that you think are feeding your scalp, right? So all of these things are to be looked at. And you're working so hard on dieting. You want to get results. So let's get you the results. Do you have to stay away from these foods forever? No. You can get your gut healed, get to where you want to be, and then reintroduce your favorite ones and eat them in moderation and see how your body responds. Your body's going to tell you, but you don't know what's causing the issue if you are eating a lot of these things. So you delete all of them from your diet. You focus on the vegetables that don't cause issues, like asparagus, artichokes, romaine lettuce, carrots. Tomatoes are fine, cucumbers, zucchini, squashes are usually okay. Those bell peppers are usually okay. When I talk about lectins, a lot of times it's not those lectins, it's the lectins from the grains and the beans and the other foods we have to be careful with. So we want to focus on the proteins, the wild animal proteins. Stay away from the chicken and the poultry. Those amyloid proteins are tripping up the bad bacteria in the gut. What's that going to do? Malabsorption of the nutrients that need to feed the hair follicles, and then the body's stressed out because it's not getting the nutrients, right? So the amyloid proteins are causing amyloid deposits to get in the brain, causing Alzheimer's, dementia, causing issues in your tissues. It also is not, they're not feeding your muscles. Those amyloid proteins are not getting broken down by the liver to then be sent to the muscles to build that bicep muscle that you're working so hard on. And it's also tripping up your ability to break down fats. So we need to lower our insulin resistance. We need to remove the toxicity. Those are the two top causes of hair loss. Then you reduce your stress. How are we reducing our stress? We're implementing accelerated keto with intermittent fasting. So it takes our body out of that stress state, reducing in the inflammation in the body as we are burning our own body fat stores and feeling this amazing energy, brain and body. We're increasing the energy in the ATP with the accelerated keto, the Acceleradine, and using the accelerated copper for all those enzymatic things that are happening in the body. And you are taking the stress out. I've got a friend of mine who is getting ready for her wedding in just a couple weeks, and she has started on the Acceleradine, the accelerated keto, and she cannot believe her energy. It's through the roof as she is losing weight. If your body's got all that energy, do you think it's stressed out? No, because it's not in this mode where we've got to slow down our metabolism and slow down our energy for survival, right? We have all this abundance energy because we're feeling awesome and we know we can live with and go expend our energy. Our T4 is converting to T3, not reverse T3. And so our metabolism shoots up, our thyroid shoots up. As our thyroid health is better, our hair looks better. And you're not just going to get more hair, but you're actually might be seeing a reversal of those grays and the texture of your hair as you are doing so. The goal is to feel good on the inside and the out. Here we are trying to lose weight to look good, but we need to feel good. And we want to look good on our scalp, on our skin, and our body as we're maintaining our muscle mass and losing the fat weight. So I hope that helps with all of these things surrounding hair loss from just weight loss. But this hair loss situation is affecting more men and women than I've ever seen. I've seen people come out of the woodwork, people that have had really great sets of hair saying that they're losing weight, and there's so many stressors. The one last thing that I'm going to emphasize is the mental state around this. You've got to change your focus on focusing on envisioning a beautiful head of hair, beautiful skin, beautiful body with no bloat, and feeling amazing energy. If you're focusing on the hair loss, you're only going to see more hair loss. If you're focusing on bloat or the fact that you have no energy or that you can't lose any weight, you're never going to lose any weight. Your body is listening to your mind. You can heal your body through your brain. The supplements and the protocols I just talked about are tools to get you into a better state of mind, to help things work at a more efficient way and to enhance your results. But without your mental state being in a good place, you're not going to get the results that you deserve. Thanks for joining me today. Let me know what you learned. Are you having issues with your hair? Are you having issues with your weight loss? Leave a comment below and let me know what issues you're struggling with. Join my free group coaching on Telegram with the link below. There's no downside. I teach you on a daily basis with tips and tools to enhance your health, and you will be a part of a like-minded group to support you on your journey. And all of the protocols and supplements I discuss are at sarahbantahealth.com. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram under Accelerated Health Products, across over 100 channels under Accelerated Health TV and radio show, and that will include all of the Sarah Banta Health Talks as well. And you will see all of my Monday and Tuesday episodes that are live every week. If you like what you hear today, please hit the subscribe button, share with a few of your friends who may need my help, and join me live every Monday at 2 p.m. Pacific, Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Pacific. You can use coupon WELCOME10 for 10% site-wide as well. Thanks again for joining us here, and have a great week.